afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome everyone who managed to join this session for today. My name is Connie Tlaga. I'm going to present today's topic. I'm not alone. I'm with my colleague, Ambesi Madolan. He's going to be our moderator for today. So today we're going to learn about staying productive online. So our agenda for today, today we're gonna discuss about how you need to set up your remote office, and also how explain the importance of building or build a productive work environment, and also to manage and maintain your well-being. Before we start, Google offer a free bootcamp which is available when you own small businesses and ready to scale. You can just sign up on Google Hustle using the website on my screen. So, before we start with our topic, I will like to know how has COVID-19 impacted your role. So, I know when our COVID-19 start, we had to work at home. We couldn't go to the offices. So I would like to ask you guys, how has COVID-19 impacted your role? So please communicate with us and my moderator in a chat box. Put your comment, your response, and even your questions, so we can enjoy this topic engaging with each other. So the first question for today is, how has COVID-19 impacted your role at work? Set up your remote office. What is a remote working? What is remote working? A remote working is a style that allows professionals to work outside of a traditional office environment, and also it based on the concept that works not need to be done in a specific place to be executed successful. And while having the ability to work from the outside of a cooperative office, it has been feasible for a few decades. And also working remotely is only now becoming a mainstream. So this is how we explain the remote working. But if you have another way of explaining how you understand a remote working, you can also put your comment in a chat box. And because we are here to learn, I'm also here to learn what you guys are thinking, and also what I'm observing. So you can communicate with us in a chat box. Moving forward, we're going to learn about where can people work remotely. So where can you work remotely without any disturbance or something? So working remotely doesn't mean you only work at home. There are lots of places where you can work from. Like once a lockdown is still lifted, of course, so you can work on different places. So they say you can work at home. For some employees, working from home is a best option, but I think others, it won't be best option for all of us. Others, we won't be able to work at home, we won't maybe concentrate or something. So other is the best option and giving more flexibility with your home life. And also others, it will be easy for them to work at a coffee shop. Working in a public space like a coffee shops or caves or bars and restaurants often it boosts productivities. And also co-working space. Co-working spaces are a great option for freelancers and remote workers, but be worried that the fee for a dedicated desk can be costly. And we also have a library. You can work at library. If you don't need to make phone calls, library are a great place to get the work done. There are often a lot of tables and also free Wi-Fi, so you won't have any challenges about connectivity because you have a free Wi-Fi. You have table where you can prepare your working space. So I think library is also the best way to work. So the second question for today, I would like to know, what do you need to work remotely? What are the things that are gonna make like your working space or your work very simple? What are those things that you need when you work remotely? And I think you also know that you can work remotely without a laptop or maybe a cell phone, even a connectivity. So I would like to know from you guys, what do you need to work remotely? So keep communicating with us in a chat box so we can hear from a different aspect. So there are a few key elements you will need to work remotely. If you are working like from home, put some thoughts into a creating or a working environment that is suitable for the type of work you do. So be respectful of the space, especially if it is a shared space. Just because you're not working at an office, it doesn't mean you can have an office. You can just prepare your desk and all the devices that you need and make it as it looks like you are at the office. Or rather than working in your room or on the couch space that are associated, while later time or dedicated a specific room on a surface in your home to work from. So the devices that you need to when working remotely, this is the technology you will need to do your work. So for example, you will need a laptop if you are working on a type of for documents and spreadsheet, or a phone if you are going to take a course or maybe communicate with your colleague or your teammates using a WhatsApp or a social media. And you're also gonna need internet connectivity or internet connection, because work today is increasingly collaborative. You may rely on internet connection to send or receive files or maybe emails, work on live files, and communicate with your team. Just like us, like most of our works, we work on online spreadsheet. So if you don't have internet connection, it will be difficult for you to you can work offline, but then your job will update after you connected the network. So I think it's important to have an internet connection while working from home. And also for these reasons, an internet connection is crucial to your remote working toolkit. So those are the things that you will need when you work remotely. So you need to have devices, internet connectivity, and a respective sorry a space of work. So moving forward, we're gonna learn about how to create your own workspace. How are you going to create your own workspace? When you're creating your own workspace, you need to find a space inside your home where you'll be free or more productive. And you also need to avoid the bed or a couch. You need to set up a table and a chair. And you also need to make sure the space is comfortable. And you also need to consider your posture. So, like, the reason why they say you must avoid the couch or the bed, like the living room or in a bed, you might not be the best place to work if you want to be productive. Remember working sitting in your bed, so you might just fall asleep while you're busy doing your work. So that is why you need to create your own workspace at home. It's very important, and it will help you to concentrate. So you need to pick a place inside the home environment where you feel like most productive. Although, like, most people talk or working from the couch comfortably, you will realize that it might work for other people, but you find that to find out that you can work uh, in a couch, because you also feel comfortable and maybe fall asleep while working. So I think table and chair is the most important thing to create your workspace. You must stay like sit in a chair where you are not feeling much comfortable, because if you feel much comfortable, you can fall asleep. So you need to choose the type of chair with a back edge support, so that you cannot feel maybe pains after sitting maybe 8 hours or more working. So you need to make sure that you have a comfortable head position when deciding on a position or a place for your laptop or a monitor. So also the physical equipment you might need when you're working remotely. It depends on the sort of work you do, or you may need. You may need a cell phone to answer calls, to communicate with teammates on chats or emails, or yeah. And you're also gonna need a computer, laptop, working on a multiple documents, video calls and conferences. And most laptops comes with a webcam, but they tend to angle up the users of Nostre, meaning an external camera in your best bet, says the spokesperson. So you also need a notebook. You will need a notebook to keep a note handy, to jot down a thoughts or also things to do, and also to write the ideas while you're busy doing your work, or maybe while you're busy communicating with your teammates. Maybe they come up with some ideas, so you'll need a notebook to write down those ideas before you can implement them. So we also need to know, like, or maybe to get a stable power, because as you can see now, like, we're experiencing more of load shedding. Imagine if you need to work remotely and you experience stage 6 of load shedding. So this was gonna be like a very challenging thing, because if your laptop struggle with maybe a battery or something, and so your battery not lasting more than maybe 5 hours or 3 hours, so it will be like, it won't be easy for you to do your work while you're experiencing a load shedding. So you need to get a stable power to be productive. You have to get a stable power to charge your devices. So the first thing that you will need, you make sure your generating set is working. And you also need to try solar powered devices, inverters, inverters, sorry. So you need to try a solar powered devices and also inverters. And also you need to have a power bank for your devices. So you must make sure that your power bank is always full, so that when you don't have electricity, you can use a power bank to charge your devices. Like working on a go remotely in order to in other locations with Wi-Fi, such as a cave or a libraries, are also a great option. You take your laptop to a place where you can get a power while you are working. So you also need or maybe you need to purchase a generator, or maybe the inverters if you don't have it, because while when we're experiencing a load shedding like that, it's gonna be challenging for you to finish your work on time if you don't have those stable powers like generators and inverters, and also the power bank. So it is important to have those things to be productive. And moving to our next slide, we're gonna find a sufficient internet connectivity. When you're working remotely, you need to find a sufficient internet connectivity. While the cost of the data has achieved in a recent time, the speed of internet connection hasn't improved much. So slow internet connectivity or connection means you can't do much online. A web pages will take forever to load. Maybe even when you try to send the emails won't send. They will stay in a like on an outbox. So you won't be able to communicate with your teammates, and this will cause a frustration and it greatly affect your productivity. So to be able to be productive, you will have to get a decent internet connectivity. It might mean like moving from a laptop tethering to investing in a broadband or a fiber to the home internet services. And also, don't be that person who didn't finish an important task because of a slow internet. And you need to choose the right ISP. The first step to choose the right internet service provider, it depends on where you live. There will be a multiple internet service provider to choose from. So if your data connectivity is unreliable, working remotely will be an advantage. So you can work and change location in a search for better and improve a network connection. You need to have a right router. Choosing the right kind of router is the important as is keeping it at the right place. So for ideal signal strength, make sure the Wi-Fi router is not kept in an enclosure or blocked by too many things around. So you need to plug in running a network cable from the router to the home office location. And you also need to use a FED or a Google Internet Speed to test and compare the internet speed across the ISP. So you also need to like to check the network, the one that maybe doesn't uh work slow. Like maybe you can try and check the Vodacom connectivity. If Vodacom connectivity is slow, then you try MTN, you also try a telecom. like to compare which network is gonna work properly with you, like it won't give you a problem while working remotely. So you need to check where the internet connectivity is not a problem. And also maybe if like just like example where I'm living like Soshanguve, so network connectivity is always a problem. So it means when I need to work remotely, I will need to check the network which is not slow, or even I try a place where the network is not a problem. So now I would like to know what are the challenges of working remotely. Obviously, when you're working remotely, you'll have more challenges than when you're going to you're working at an office. So now I would like to put this question to you guys. I would like to hear from you to hear what are the challenges of working remotely. So the challenges of working remotely, like it's gonna be maybe a loneliness, lack of social interaction. Unlike at the office, at the office you won't feel lonely, or because you'll be interacting with your colleagues. So loneliness is one of the major drawbacks of remote work, especially for introverts people. So if you are using, or maybe if you are used to the office chat, you might find working from home lonely. However, if you think working alone it affects your productivity, you can go to a restaurant or an eatery to get your work done. So you have an option to go and interact with other people at the restaurant while being productive. And the second one, the second challenge of working remotely is self-discipline. You need to dedicate, or you need dedication, discipline, and self-control to avoid losing momentum while working from home. And you don't need to convince yourself that a single YouTube video during your work hours won't do any harm. So you need to discipline yourself and know that like I need to finish this kind of work within maybe an hour or 2 hours. So when you try to watch a YouTube videos or TikTok or something, it might affect your working hours or your timeline. So before you know it, you will have spent more hours on a YouTube video. So discipline is very self-discipline is very important when you're working remotely. The third one, no employee benefits. There's no employee benefits like when you are at the office. You won't have employee benefit like health insurance or retirement funds. Although work at home opportunity in some countries provides a medical coverage, the same can be said when working online. And the fourth one is difficult to switch off. When you're working in your office, you're mostly likely to consciously off the closing time. That is not always the case when you are working remotely. It's like when you are at the office, you know that maybe like you start working around 8 o'clock, and the knocking off time is around 4, or maybe it's 3 o'clock. So while you're working remotely, like you won't knock off around 3, because like it's time for you to knock off while you're at the office. So it might happen that you work more than 8 hours to try to push your work. So when working remotely, the lines between work, home life are blurred. Since you are working from your dining room, you might not find it easy to disengage yourself from work. And the last one is FOMO. Working remotely could make you feel left out occasionally when you miss out on important announcement, meeting, events in your office. So you will mostly like to be the last person to hear in your office, or to hear about upcoming events and important announcement, because you'll be working remotely at home. You'll be working at home, not at the office. However, with a software like Slack, you can keep update yourself while you work remotely. So those are the challenges that you came across when you're working remotely. So I'll also put another question. What are the benefits of remote working? What are the benefits of remote working? So I would like to hear from you guys, to engage with us and comment, respond, feedback, anything that you think are benefiting you for working remotely. So the benefits of working remotely for employee are flexibility, no commuting, more time with family, less distraction, and a higher morals. So flexibility. Sometimes there are things that you just need to be at home for, whether it's waiting in for repair services or a parcels. Working from home allows you the flexibility to deal with the unexpected. Just like when you order something from a takealot, then they will need to like to deliver that thing during your work time. So when you are at home, it's gonna be easier than when you are at the office. So that is how our flexibility, I think, it's referring to. On top of that, there are like everyday tasks you can fit in around your work, like doing laundry or receiving online grocery deliveries. So you can also do laundry while doing your work. And the other one is no commuting. Commuting takes time out of your day that you'll never get back. And that is before you take into account how long it takes uh, to get ready in the morning. So when you work from home, you can be at your desk or the kitchen table, and also you can be ready to work within a few minutes of waking up. And also you can even schedule some meditation or exercises in before you get stuck into your task, instead of stuck in the traffic or cramped a public transport. So when you're working at home, you won't stress about waking up early so you can catch a taxi before you're stuck in the traffic or something like that. So it's those are the benefits of working from home. More time with family, because you can spend time with your family while doing your work remotely. So also the less distraction with some the willpower and a steady routine, you will soon learn to avoid being distracted by the TV or your next load of laundry. In fact, you should find yourself getting more done when you work remotely. And also, that is because you can control your working situation much more. You don't have to worry about co-workers stopping by or just ask a quick questions. one is a higher moral. Remote employees are notably less stressed and have a higher moral than their in office counterparts. So, a happier or healthier employee produce a better work and feel more committed to their companies. From this perspective, remote work is a good business. So before COVID-19, like most we were not working remotely. So COVID-19 like introduced the other way of working without going to the office. So as they say, remote work is a good business. And moving forward, you need to reduce. Those are still the benefits of remote working for business. So you need to reduce overhead cost. The cost of securing an office space is high, especially in the major cities like Lagos, and can make a significant impact on the overhead. So you need to create a greater productivity from a highly engaged workforce, and also access to wider pool of talent by allowing employees to work remotely. Employers can hire the best talent while not limiting themselves by geographically restrictions. The last one, you need to improve the employee retention, like improved employee retention. So I will pause from here to check your response, your comment. Okay, I see that there is no question, comment. Why your work environment is important. The quality of your workplace is a vital to or productive. You need to put some thought into the a workspace. You need to find the right chair for you, and you need to get a filing system to organize your life. So you need to put some thought into the workspace. There are some tips to creating a workspace that promote a wellness and a productivity, including the use of natural light and desk position. So you need to consider the space of your various tasks and how to arrange your home office layout effectively. And then you need to create an area of your own to work. It can be a countertop in the kitchen where your laptop is, a corner in the den with a desk, or a whole room in the house. So it can even be like if your workspace is in a shared place, consider creating a screen to add a separation. So you also need to find the right chair for you. Find a chair within your own home or purchase an economic chair to sit in at your desk, and invest in a good chair that fits you and feels good. And also develop a filing system to keep you in a organized place. 40% dedicate of or 40% decrease in a productivity due to workplace or distractions, and also 27% increase in errors. So I would also like to ask, how can you minimize a distraction? I would like you to engage with us, like put your comment, your response. How can you minimize distraction while working remotely? It can be challenging to avoid distraction at work, and that may become more so in your home environment. Sometimes focusing on the work right in front of you can be a challenge. So let others know your work hours. Let others know your work hours. If you have a family at home or neighbors and friends, let them know your work hours so they cannot distract you or maybe disturb you. So that way they can speak to you at a time which suit both of your needs. And this also will allow them to interrupt you only if it is very urgent. So do one things at a time. After breaking down your huge process into a smaller, a double pieces, choose one and dedicate it entirely to it. And also, after you complete it, you can move on to the next, then the next one after you finish. So avoid TV and household distraction, because you can work watching TV. It's not gonna be easy, because you'll get distracted very easily. You need to put away all the pets, all pets like cat, dogs. While we love our furry friends, they will only distract you. Save the animal love for after work hours. And you also need to take a regular breaks. There is only so much our brain can handle before it start failing and causing a greater distraction. Because some can take, like maybe they can work uh 3 hours without a short break, but others we can work maybe 2 hours without a break. So you need to take a regular breaks just to refresh your mind, so you can keep keep up your work and concentrate, and also think properly. You need to get up from your table, go for a short walk, and grab a coffee to refresh your mind also. You also need to find that when you go back to work, it will be a lot easier to avoid a distraction. So those are the steps to minimize distraction while working remotely. So if there are things that you know you can they can minimize distraction, which they are not in this slide, you can just put your comment in a chat box so we can learn more. And how can you improve productivity within teams? How can you improve productivity within teams. The project management, we have like how to manage a project management or maybe a project remotely. So a remote team members need to be able to plan and collaborate on commitment, deliverables, and tasks. So they also need to track the flow of work from a start to finish. You need to establish a vision and deliverables and establish logistics for team communication, promote visibility and transparency of all work, and also track the quality and status of projects. The last one, you need to identify and address a bottlenecks. So those are the like how to manage a project remotely. And we have 70% of workplace mistakes due to a poor communication. So 70% of our mistakes are due to a poor communication. Communication plays a fundamental role in our daily lives. For some, good communication comes naturally, but for others, it can be hard to articulate their thoughts and feelings in conversation, and leading to conflict and fundamental errors. So, whether you are an effective communicator or not, it's essential to understand the importance of good communication and how it can help you to move forward in the working world as a whole. So there are a general communication. So like why strong our communication is integral to our business success. So it is important to communicate effectively when working in general. So there are different communication tools that you can work more effectively than others to communicate with teams, depending on the purposes or the task at hand. So emails are particularly useful for business communication. Group mails allow you to send a single mail to a large of number. So it like you can even message using a messaging platforms can facilitate many of the daily functions, and physical workspace or an internal email thread will normally perform. So you also need to collaborate tools, use collaboration tools for a project work. Those are the general communication. So now you need to set rules to communicate effectively. The rules to communicate effectively, in order for communication to be effective, you need to set some rules. So communicate clearly, think about the type of message and context, respond promptly, and also set a role model, the guidelines. So consider your audience, make sure your message is appropriate, like respond, set the role model and guidelines, and also communicate clearly so they can understood everything you're talking about. Now we have our video meetings in a call. So as we are working remotely, when we have a meeting, we're gonna set up an online meeting. So like a video meeting, of course, those are the apps that maybe you can use, like to hold a meeting using them. You can use a Meet, a Google Meet, you can use a Zoom, Teams, Skype, and also a WhatsApp call, a WhatsApp video call. So you can hold a meeting using those videos. Video meetings and call enable teams to communicate and collaborate in real time. So connect teams working remotely, improve our levels of communication, and also it boosts a collaboration. So it's important to communicate effectively when working in a general, but the special teams can impact the efficiency of more traditional company communication. So emails are particularly useful for business communication. Group mails allow you to send a large of people or large number of recipients. So messaging platform can facilitate many of the daily functions and the physical workspace. So you can use all those five apps to use to communicate with your teammates using a video conference or a video call. So when we talk about a Google Meet is it keep your team connected with enterprise grade video conferencing built on a Google robust and secure global infrastructure. And Meet is included with a G Suite and G Suite for education. So Meet is fully integrated. So you can join a meeting directly from a calendar event or an email invitation. So it's very simple to join a meeting using a Google Meet, because you can just go to your email and you show the link, like join the link to use when you want to join the meeting, or you can even go straight to your calendar and get the invitation. So moving forward, we're gonna learn about Zoom. Zoom is an application that can be downloaded either on your computer or your mobile device. You can request a demo and a event download. It is for free. And when you're using Zoom, Zoom is free for the first 45 minutes. So you can use Zoom to host or join a meeting for online classes through the app or by accepting an email invitation. And also, Zoom can be downloaded on either PC, Mac, Android, or iOS, and up to 100 people can join an online class or meeting in the free mode. So, this is how Zoom works. So, we also have Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams, like you create a team and channel to organize your department. You can separate groups and enables team to work most effectively. And you can utilize the chat and video call functions to boost our communication. They are also a gift and emoji to use when you're using or when you're joining a meeting using Teams. You can share a document and collaborate with easy, and use the add function to tag and notify a team members. Microsoft Team is included in your Microsoft 365 package. Now we're gonna learn about a Skype. A Skype is a video chat app. You'll have access to a variety of innovative features. So a full screen video, you send a chat invite to anyone, and also a background blur. How to run effective meeting. So how are you gonna run effective team meeting? You need to set agendas, consider your tone of voice, encourage participant to use cameras, uh, set a time or maybe be timely. So when you set agenda, this help you to frame a discussion and the wider session. It also ensure everyone is on the same page. And also the second one, you consider your tone of voice. If working remotely, people can't see your body language as easily. So your voice is all they have to go by. So make sure your intonation is good and you are expressive, not monotone. The third one, you need to encourage a participant to use cameras. It's important to connect with each other, make things more personal, boost a non-verbal communication. And the last one, you be timely. Don't leave people waiting on calls. Be punctual as you will for an in-person meeting. So don't take advantage because it's a online meeting, so you can be late. You can join 5 minutes late, or you need to be on time. A video conferencing etiquette. So, steps to run effective meeting. You need to prepare yourself. You need to dress appropriately. To consider your lighting. Consider your background. Consider your audio. So those are the important things that you need to check when you are joining a video conferencing etiquette. Like when you consider your lighting, other consideration is where the light source is coming from. So you need to adjust your camera for different construct so faces can appear clearly. So even your background, in order to be clearly visible, it is good practice to use a neutral background with a little to no movement or like a picture or something. So you also need to consider your audio. Can people hear you clearly? Mute your mic if you are not speaking, especially if there is a lot of background noise. And we have top tips for collaborating effectively. The first tip is equip your team with the right tools. The second one, make a project management easier. The third one, make a document sharing a breeze. The fourth one, encourage a collaboration between department. The last one, you need to prioritize a company culture. So those are the top tips for collaborating effectively. And final top tips for productivity. So in this time of coronavirus pandemic, remote work or working from home has moved from being a pick to a policy. So, how productive you are during this period of social distancing could set a precedent in making a case for or against working from home in future. So, over communicate with your team regularly and keep them in the loop. Unlike an office environment, when working remotely, your team members can see what task you are doing. So you also need to be disciplined. Don't fall into temptation. Remote work is not a vacation or a paid leave. Since there is no supervisor looking over your shoulder, to sleep, chill, and watch your favorite series may seem tempting, but then you need to discipline yourself and avoid those series and avoid sleeping during your waking hours. Don't turn off your phone. Ignore communication from your boss. and colleagues and give excuses. You need to discipline yourself, work from home, and earn your pay. So have your tools ready. For most people that can and will be working remotely, the lifeblood of their productivity is power and internet. Make sure you have alternative sources of power and generating the set of inverters and unlimited fast internet services. Find your booster and use it. What gets you into the invisible work mode? A playlist, energy drink, or a snacking? Whatever ignites your stamina, use it during this trying and depressing time to keep your head up. And also, depending on your employment situation, you may be having a flexible working hours, but you need to use this to work when you are most uh, active. So those are the final top tips for being a productive or not being lazy to work just because you're working remotely. So I would like to pause for a question, maybe respond and check if there is a communication. Okay, I can see there's no comment. So moving forward, we're gonna learn about manage and maintain your well-being. So the first question is gonna be, why is it important to manage your well-being? Those are the importance of managing your well-being because you need to impact your overall health. You need to lead to greater productivity. You need to increase your resilience and boost your moral and levels of happiness. So when you lead to greater productivity, you are more motivated, you're more focused, and also work better and more quickly. So when you increase your resilience, you can overcome obstacles head on and you don't crumble in the face of challenges and setbacks. So the last one, you need to boost your morals and a level of happiness. And here are what can you do to manage your well-being. I still encourage you to engage with us. Put your comment, your response in a chat box. My moderator will be communicating with you, and I'll also communicating with you about the response and comment. So you need to avoid overworking. Take a regular breaks. So when you are working overtime, you need to take a smaller breaks or a short breaks so your mind cannot get more frustrated. So you need to set up a reminders to take a break and be clear with your team when you are leaving. Turn off notification when on a break. And you also need to schedule in an activity like taking a walk, riding a bike, or maybe going to the gym at the end of the day. So that is how you're gonna refresh your mind. And also be ready for a culture shift. Beyond the barriers of power supply and internet access for employees, traditional companies will also have to revise the aspect of their established work and organizational culture to embrace a remote work. So you need to trust your overall performance and you also rethink the concept of work, understand your commitment, and also be patient. So you need to be patient of your work. You need to manage your overall well-being. When you manage your overall well-being, you need to encourage exercises within your team. You need to take a mental health as serious as physical health. You need to to hold a regular performance check-ins and encourage the workers to separate the work and also a private life. And you also need to organize in-person a social meetup. So that's how you're gonna manage your overall well-being. I'll be posting again for your comment, uh, your question. Okay, I see. Uh, there is no question. Moving forward, what is your next step? So, what are your next steps? So, while I'm closing up, I'm still remind you about a free camp, a free boot camp, which is available from Google. Uh, if you're owning a small businesses, and you can sign up for a Google Hustle Academy. Use the website on my screen, and if you already sign up, you can just log in and follow the instruction. Thank you all for coming today. I would like to hear more from our upcoming session as well. So you can follow a Google Digital Skills Africa on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So those are our Google Digital Skill platform where you can find us. I would like to thank you all for joining today's session. Thank you so much for being on time. Thank you also my moderator for being with me during the whole session. Thank you everyone.